Minasan konnichiwa, and welcome to the Board Game Dojo's Indie Showcase, where we take a look at games from small publishers on the hunt for hidden gems. Today, we are taking a look at a bingo-style game called Trend and its sequel, Trend the Branch, that has you trying to make trends and predict upcoming ones to score more points than your opponents. Let's see if these two games will become fashionable in the board game world. This is Trend. Trend and its sequel, Trend the Branch, have the same general rule set, so I'm going to explain them both, but then I will tell the differences as they come up. For the first thing, you'll make a 3x3 grid here. Each card in this grid has a trend in the top left corner here. They might have one, they might have two, they might have three. So this one, for example, the trends of this outfit are the dots and the pink fashions. Your goal is to make bingo with the cards in your hand, making 3 in a row of the same kind of fashion. Now, it doesn't have to be completely the same as everything on the card, just one of those things. So for example, I have a card in my hand with the fashions denim jacket and skinny pants. I'm gonna put it here, and this gives me a bingo because this one has skinny, this one has skinny, and this one has skinny. When a player makes a bingo like this, it is known as being in trend. So skinny is now in trend. Anybody can score as many cards as they want from their hand that have skinny trend on them. Each card that they discard will be worth 1 point at the end of the game. However, there are special cards that are worth 2 points if you discard them. Once people have decided how many they're going to discard, the player whose turn it was gets to buy something from the shop, which is over here. In Trend the Branch, there are 6 shop cards, and in the regular Trend, there are 3 shop cards. Players can buy 1 card plus the amount of bingos that they just made over here. So on my turn, I made 1 bingo, so I get 1 plus 1 bingo for 2 cards. I can choose any 2 that I want, putting them in my hand. And then the cards refill. In Trend the Branch, cards are divvied up into their different seasons. So spring, summer, autumn, should put those upside right, and winter. Meaning that different trends are going to be trendy at different parts of the year. For example, you're going to get a lot of jackets in spring and fall and winter, but not really in the summer. In the summer, you're going to get a lot of shorts. Each player will also get a shop card that gives their shop a game-breaking power. This might be a different way to score cards. They might get to score more cards for a bingo, things like that. At the end of the game, you'll count how many cards you have in your score pile, and whoever has the most points wins. And that's the general gist of how to play Trend and Trend the Branch. Let's start with the very easy part of this review, and that is that the art in both of these games are absolutely incredible. Top 3 art for me of all time, and maybe it's a little bit of nostalgic as it has similar art as the artist does in the town that Sima-chan and I used to live in Japan. But let's start off with Trend, and this game can't really be found anymore, and that makes a lot of sense because it was pretty much strongly disliked by most of the people who played the original one. And that's because everything kind of seemed like it overcomplicated the intended central point of the game. From the rulebook that kind of goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which just makes everything so much harder to read, to the fact that there are special cards that just like you didn't know why you would ever play them and you couldn't really quite understand the rule for them, to the fact that there's lots of these item cards that were kind of cool when you used them, but if you didn't use them, then they would be negative points at the end of the game. Just, it kind of seemed like there was a lot of stuff, a lot of ideas thrown into the box that didn't quite work. But saying that, growth happens. And what I like to see from designers is when they get told, this is a really good idea, but I don't like all these other things about it. Can you kind of take away all these things or make them a little bit simpler so that we can get to play more of the central points? And that is exactly what they did with Trend the Branch. Trend the Branch keeps basically a majority of the stuff the same, but it took out the item cards that kind of were not great. It took out the special cards entirely. That was great. And then it also just improved on the central mechanic a little bit more. So the fact that there are different seasons that have different styles, which was really, really cool. Like in the original Trend, you had no idea what was going to be in that deck unless you played the game a number of times, and because of all of the rough stuff around it, you didn't really want to do that. But in Trend the Branch, it actually gives every player a graph that shows how many of each trend are in which different season. And it's so thematic. Like, it is really cool that, like, oh, the light work uniforms and the denim jackets are going to be really popular in the spring and the fall. In the winter, there's going to be lots of coats and stuff, so I should probably plan for that. It actually gives you the ability to not only make the fads yourself, but to predict and choose the cards that you think will be coming up. The original special cards from Trend didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but the new ones from Trend the brands, they offer you such a tantalizing decision. Like the sale card that allows you to place 2 cards on top of the 3x3 grid, but you can't make bingo. This can make it easier for you to make a fad that you need, but then at the same time, you can't actually trigger the fad that you need. The other one would be the +2 cards, the ones that are worth double the amount of points if you can put them into the pile, but they only have 1 fad on them each, which makes them incredibly difficult to pull off compared to everything else. Is it worth that risk? Something else that Trend the Brand has for it are the shop cards. And yes, there were shop cards in the original ones, but I love the new ones that actually give you just a game-breaking power that really push you in a direction of what you want to be good at that game. And it makes every game that you play of this just a little bit different. Do I want to try to go for the double bingos this game because that gives me a certain bonus? Do I want to go for just lots of small bingos this game because that gives me a bonus? Do I want to go after a lot of denim in this game because my shop is a denim shop, and so all denim products, whether it's a jacket or pants or shorts, they all count as the same thing. Everything about this package signals to me that UF Studio, the publisher behind this game, not only read the feedback, whether it was easy or hard to do that, they listened, they improved upon their original base idea that people really liked, and they made a solid package that I think if you're coming to Japan, it is well worth seeking out. Well, thank you so much for watching another edition of Indie Showcase. Now, this game was actually chosen by our Coffee subscribers. Once a month, we have our Coffee subscribers vote on what game they want us to cover, and this was the one they chose for October. If you want to help us choose what games we cover on this channel, you can join our Coffee. I will leave a link in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Arigatou gozaimashita. Until next time, じゃあね。